Hi everyone, a while ago I have sold all my positions on Visa and MasterCard, and I'll talk in this video why I sold them, and then I bought two high dividend yields with nice growth as well stocks. I will show the stocks I bought to replace them and talk about the impact on my dividend income, the impact this switch made in my dividend portfolio. So let's dive into the details. So I had Visa, 7 shares of Visa, and I sold all the position on Visa on the 3rd of April, and I had 3 shares of MasterCard and I sold the 1st of May. My 7 shares Visa I sold 227, a total price of over 1500, with a profit over 200, with 15% of profit on MasterCard, a total price over 1100, a total profit of 121, and over 11% profit. So all this money I sold here, I directed this capital to new stocks on my portfolio. This happened a while ago already, a few months ago. But I thought was important to share. I think it's interesting to bring her to light the change I did in my portfolio, because it shows what is my idea, what is my strategy, and which type of stocks makes more sense for my goal, that is retire as early as possible. So let's quickly talk about Visa. Visa has a forward dividend yield of 0.75, a payout ratio very low, and a really high 5-year growth rate for dividend increase, and have been increasing the dividends for 14 years in a row. Visa is extremely strong stock. It's like a superstar high growth, and price appreciation, the dividend increases. It's an awesome stock, and I'm not here to say that Visa is shit and you should sell Visa. Is not what I'm saying here. It's just Visa doesn't suit my strategy, and we talk about this later on in the video. Same thing with MasterCard. We have a very low dividend yield, we have a very good payout ratio, we have amazing 5-year growth rate, and a good dividend growth increase. And now let's review the first stock I bought, the stock I bought with the capital I allocated from Visa, and this is US Bank. US Bank, when you talk about assets, US Bank is the 5th largest bank, the 5th biggest bank, US Bank. It's a regional bank, but it's the biggest of them, and it's such a big one that's nearly not considered as a regional bank, so big it is. And let's see the dividend metrics of US Bank. So at the moment there's a forward dividend yield of 5%, which is really good, but my dividend on cost for the price I bought is nearly 6%, is 5.7%. Since I bought, the stock price went a lot up. We have a decent payout ratio in the range of 50%. I consider that's good, especially for this high yield here. It's not the highest yield. Some people don't consider this high yield, some people does. Let's say it's a mid to high yield there. But this yield with this amazing 5-year growth rate here on nearly 10%. So it's a combination that's really powerful, and I really like it. And it's very good on increasing the dividends as well. Like it's increasing for 12 years consecutive, 12 consecutive years. It's really, really good. And I believe that the bank will be able to continue this growth, maybe in these recent years, because the tough environment we're going maybe will slow down, but eventually I think they will catch up and be able to sustain a nice yield with a nice growth rate. Eventually, I think the market go pricifying the stock better, because it's a high quality stock. Was good to when the chaos was happening around the regional banks, and which the risk I didn't think applied as much as to US Bank, but some investor thought that. I thought different. I bought, and now I'm really happy with the purchase. And there are some highlights as well, like they have a successful conversion of Union Bank, so they have this acquisition, and they have an expectation for a meaningful growth coming from this acquisition for the future. So it's nice to have more expectation for future forward growth from this acquisition. That's really good. Let's dive into some financial metrics as well for US Bank, so we can see a steady steady and growing revenue. These last years is tough years. We talk about pandemic, then now these high interest rates, so it's not easy environment, but it's still the bank is doing well. If you look at the bottom line, net income from continuous operation is steady, is keeping it together. It's still good as well. With a quick look in the balance sheet, we see a high debt here, but we see the net debt is way lower than total debt, which shows that the company has some nice have means to pay a lot of this debt, which is really good, show safety. And the cash flow statement here, we see the free cash flow is growing, is steady as well, and with a nice pace. So there's a good free cash flow there from the company. This brings us safety as well, and we know the company is generating cash, which is one of the most important things for the company to be able to pay good dividends, increase the dividends. We need good free cash flow. Rounded up here, US Bank for me is a really nice pick and safe pick with a high dividend yield. A very nice dividend yield with a very good metrics for dividend growth as well. I'm really happy to have this stock to complement my dividend portfolio, and I'm excited to be collecting every quarter these nice dividends. Just before we dive in the next stocks, this channel is the Dividend Fire. I highly recommend you to subscribe to my channel, because here I talk about my journey where I seek to retire as early as possible. I'll be very aggressive to my goal, and I'll be trying to retire as early as possible, invest in good stocks that pay good and reliable dividends, so I can retire with this cash falling in my account and I can quit my job as early as possible. I also be very aggressive in my job, and I'll be bringing here my income as well from my job, how much I save. I will eventually bring a video talk about my personal finance as well to show how I'm doing about it and my goals to increase my earnings so I can also invest more. So please, I highly recommend you subscribe to the channel to follow all this journey. So the stock I bought when I sold MasterCard was ABR, Arbor Realty Trust. Arbor Realty Trust is a mortgage REIT that had been booming in the last few months. Arbor Realty Trust, I have a yield on cost of nearly 15%, but currently, since the stock have shoot up in price, is around 10%, which not is quite common for mortgage REITs, but it's still good for the quality of the mortgage REIT here. For the quality of ABR has a bit high PR ratio. We are in a tough environment. They are trying still not cutting the dividends. They are keeping their commitment with the shareholder, and at the same time try to hold the business together in this tough environment, and they're doing a good job so far. That's why the stock had been going up so much and lately in the last few months, because had been some good news coming about the stock. They increased their dividends, they are keeping their finance together, and they were just added to the SP 600 small cap index, which will result in ETFs that track this index being adding the ABR to their ETFs as well, to increase the demand for the stock. This also causes increase in the price. So ABR 10% forward yield for who is buying right now. There's a high yield, but you see this amazing five-year growth rate of over 16%. The last dividend hike was 5%, which was way below of our 5-year rate here. But it's still good, 5% when you think that the dividend is that high and that we are in a very tough environment. I believe when we are going through, let's say, easier tides, easier waters, we will have we'll be able to see them with coming back with a nicer rate, because historically we see they have been increased their dividend quite well with 9 consecutive years increasing this dividend. So we see they are reliable, they have commitment with the shareholder, and I like this very much. I won't dive much into details. I have this video on my channel, a simplified analysis about Arbor Realty Trust, where I share all my opinion. After this video, I highly recommend you, if you're interested in Arbor Realty Trust, to have a look at this video and see. Now that we revealed the two stocks that I bought with the money I sold from Visa and MasterCard. So this money I sold from Visa and MasterCard I allocated to these stocks, and we show the difference and impact that caused. So from Visa, I got over 1,500. From MasterCard, I got over 1,100. And so I put the money from the sales of Visa on US Bank, and on MasterCard, direct the money to ABR. So my dividend yield on US Bank my average price is 5.78%, and in ABR is 14.78%. As I showed you guys before, ABR currently is 5%, but since I bought in a nicer price, my dividend yield is higher, and ABR is 10% now dividend yield, but since I bought in a better price, I have it higher. So that showed how important it is when we buy, when everyone is scared, but we do our own analysis, we see that the stocks make sense, is aligned with our goal, so we walk against the herd. We walk against the herd, buy in the right time, and then we'll be happier receiving more dividends than the average investor would be. That's the way I think. So do your own research, do your own strategy. I'm just talking about my own strategy, my own goal, okay? So overall, I sold Visa and MasterCard. They are amazing, they're good stocks, they are high quality, they are superstar. There's no doubt about it. If you like Visa and MasterCard, go for it. But didn't align anymore with my investors' goal because I want to retire as early as possible. I can't afford to have a stock that's paid less than 1% in dividend yield, even though they have a very high dividend growth. When then with ABR and US Bank, I have a nice dividend yield and also very nice growth. I have a really nice growth with both of them, and so this is a better combination for myself. So from this money allocated to US Bank, I'll get in add-on dividends $91, and for ABR I'll have over $160, $169, which is really nice. And so sum together, my annual income with US Bank and ABR will be $260 a year, when with Visa and MasterCard would be only around $27, $26. So it's nearly at 10x there, just shoot up 10 times more. And I believe on the reliability of US Bank and ABR to keep paying me steady dividend. So some people say, high dividends to risk. Can be. High dividend can be to risk, but if the stock is reliable, if the stock has good financials, they are be able to keep paying this high dividend and also return some nice high growth as US Bank and ABR has been doing so far. And Visa and MasterCard has a very high growth, but for if you are a dividend investor and you want this high growth to make their dividend a very high dividend along the way, you need to expect this super high growth to keep forever, not forever, but to keep for a very long time, which brings some risk as well, because you need this stock to perform extremely well for many, many years, so they can keep this huge growth throughout the years. So there's some risk there as well. So there's risk on high growth, there's risk on high yields as well. Choose your risk, which risk you want to take. I'm happy getting paid well for my dividends, not care much by price appreciation, even though dividend stocks also, the history shows dividend stocks have a very good price appreciation as well, like because the stocks pay dividends with when they are doing well. So they pay dividends because they're doing well. If very few stocks that pay dividends and they're not reliable, usually these stocks don't pay dividend for so many years as US Bank and ABR is doing. ABR is 9 years, nearly 10 years paying, increasing their dividends. They're reliable. They have been doing this for a long time. they have the trust of the shareholder. Same with US Bank has been increasing the dividends for 12 years. So I'm happy with this pick. I'm really happy with the change that made. Makes way more sense for me. I'm a way happier investor with US Bank and ABR than I was with Visa and MasterCard. That's me. That's my strategy. That's the dividend fire. I'm going all in. I want to retire as early as possible. But you tell me, what's your opinion about Visa? What's your opinion about MasterCard, about US Bank, about ABR? What is your opinion? Leave in the comments. So video ends here. I highly recommend you to subscribe to the channel. So check out the other videos of the channel if you're interested in knowing about more ABR Realty Trust. I highly recommend this video. We have other interesting videos in the channel as well. Dive in and let's share this information because it's really valuable. I really like it. I watch many dividend YouTube channels. I love to see they sharing their experience, and that's why I'm sharing my experience as well. Please share your experience in the comments. Like the video as well to this video can reach more people. I stay here by keep investing, keep safe, and keep receiving some nice dividends. Okay? See you next time. Bye.